Welcome to Liquid Courage, the podcast where I, Amanda Pereira, sit down with a fellow artist that I admire and ask them the questions I've never had the guts to ask them before. Sounds scary? Yeah, it really is. So I use a little liquid courage in the form of my guest's favorite drink. We cheers, chat, and connect as I attempt to soak up all the wisdom they have to offer. Today I sit down with Bianca Alongi and we sip some red wine from Lisbon By Night. Bianca is a Toronto-based actor, voice performer, and comedian who started her career as a dancer working on productions with Norwegian Cruise Line and performing in live shows throughout the UK. After discovering her love of performing comedy, Bianca was accepted into the Second City Conservatory program here in Toronto and was nominated for the prestigious Tim Sims Encouragement Fund Award upon graduating. Recently, Bianca has set her sights on animation, using her unique voice to land roles like Macguffin in Charlie's Colorform City on Netflix, Jesse's mom on Superwish, and Professor Koo on Agent Binky Pets of the Universe on Treehouse. She also landed herself a role in a feature film due to come out in 2023, so keep your eyes peeled. During the pandemic, Bianca embraced her love of painting and created her business, Casa Bianca, where she creates and sells watercolors of iconic structures and landmarks of Toronto. So far, she has collaborated with Mirvish Theatre as well as Addidas, and she does custom work, so check out Casa Bianca linked in the description of this episode. So Bianca is an actor, a voice actor, a comedian, and someone I admire immensely. Hi, Bianca.
Hi, Amanda.
Oh my God, I'm so happy we're finally doing this. We've been talking about getting you on the podcast. It feels like years.
It feels like years.
Lifetimes, for sure. You look so adorable. Also, I realized you're in like the iconic chair. I've seen that chair on your Instagram.
I'm in this swivelly chair.
Oh my God. It's like, it reminds me of like a mermaid sitting in like a little pearl clam throne kind of thing. It's so cute.
Amanda, it has been on a journey, okay?
The chair has been on a journey.
So let me just tell you really, really quick, and then we're going to be like, let's start the episode, but this is like a entry.
I love a pre,
so,
okay.
My mom, I was at Winners over here, Marshall's, HomeSense. And I see this pink little chair, and I'm like, Bianca, you're an adult. You don't need that. That's definitely for a child's bedroom. And I walked along my merry way. And then I get a phone call from Mama Sil. Bianca, oh my God, you're never going to believe. I'm in HomeSense, and I see this like pink little chair, and it just reminds me of something that you would like. And I was like, send me a picture. Send me a picture. I was like, Mom, I love it. I was like, I've been thinking about that chair, and I thought it was like definitely for a baby's bedroom, but like, I don't care. So I go rushing over to the HomeSense over here, and it's sold. And I'm like, no.
Shit.
And then she's like, don't worry, I'm going to buy this one in Windsor, and you can pay me and whatever. So I went back home to Windsor, and then I had to lug this thing on the train with me.
From Windsor?
From Windsor.
Oh, that chair you have earned that chair.
Literally Union Station rolling down. Like
Stop. I'm actually surprised that your mom found the same one, because like it makes me so nervous when I find things in HomeSense or Winners or Marshalls that I like, because I feel like, first of all, if I leave it there, I'm never going to find it again at any location or that one. Like, everything's going to be taken all the time.
I know. It shouldn't be called HomeSense. It should be called like bye-bye going to a new home.
Yeah. Good luck. Now or never. That's what they should all be called. Now or never.
That's what it should be.
That should be
HomeSense.
called.
Now
Stresses me out.
never.
Or never.
You know what? We're on to something there.
We're on to something.
Yeah.
Unique pieces, one-of-a-kind pieces. Honestly, I'm sure there's like a luxury. I'm going to Google it afterwards. I'm sure there's like a luxury
it's
something.
Like, did you see Value Village has that like Vivi Boutique on Queen Street? Yeah. They've been taking what all of us have been like, yeah, just got at Vivi Boutique. Now there's a Value Village Boutique, Queen West, and I walked in there and I was like, wait a minute. This is just nicely displayed.
Oh my God. You know what that makes me think of? Because like, I have such a... I love trying to like find affordable clothing, and then also I see all these things on TikTok and Instagram and stuff about how like, oh, these trendy hipsters like coming to take clothing and they could afford other clothing from people who legit cannot afford other clothing. And I'm like, I don't know morally, what should my heart do? So then I just like wear the same sweatpants every day. Like I just don't buy any clothing. I don't know. Oh my God, I love that. I love that on the video you just did a little thumbs up emoticon. I'm like, oh, do you agree? No,
I didn't mean to do that.
No. Maybe your heart did. Maybe it agreed. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so today, your liquid courage that you chose is we're going to have some red wine by the company Lisbon by Night. Actually, I have the bottle here, so maybe I'll just like show it because it's very beautiful. It's very
show it.
What is that? Van Gogh? Is that horrible? Like, you know the Starry Night? Okay, we're going to move on. That one? Oh my gosh, yes.
This is a surprise for you.
Oh, you have a surprise. Okay.
That's what you're drinking. Okay, when everybody is listening with your little eardrums, okay, or if you can see us, little miss here asked me if I wanted to do the podcast after I came back from Portugal, and I was feeling, ooh, Portugal, yeah, and we're both Portuguese, listener.
Yes, we are.
We're both Portuguese, and I was like, yes, let's get an $8 wine from LCBO called Lisbon. Guess what? Bianca has been gasping for a nice hot cup.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, and I should say, so for listeners, she just pulled out, first of all, the cutest transparent coffee mug ever. And oh my God. And like, of course, you have this beautiful ornate creamer. I want to call it a gravy boat for creamers. Like, I don't even know what that's called.
It probably is.
And this actually comes full circle because we did a little like mic video sound test check thing a couple days ago. And you were talking about how much you were loving coffee. And I was thinking about that today. Well, I have this little, I was going to ask you, well, first we'll do a little cheers.
Cheers.
With our coffee wine. Cheers, babe. Have you ever had this wine before?
I have. Somebody actually, for like, I don't know, I came over, I made them dinner and they brought that for me. Like, you're Portuguese, it's a Portuguese wine. And I was like, well, thank you. And I actually liked it. I was like, wow, for a cheap wine.
It's good.
I love it.
It is good.
Yeah.
Okay, Portuguese. Okay, yes. I'm so glad. I mean, I thought maybe the wine would go here, but like, I'm so glad it did. Okay, we're both Portuguese. And I have to tell you, this is the first thing. I've thought about this since we had our first conversation ever in real life, which like for viewers and listeners, we have not had that many conversations in real life. Yeah. Less than a handful.
But we want it. Like we want it.
We want it to happen. So, okay, one of like the first conversations ever that we had, you mentioned or asked or something, like, I'm paraphrasing, that's why I'm panicking because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you basically were like, oh, you're Portuguese, right? We're both Portuguese. And you were so lovely and excited. I'm making it sound like I'm about to tell you that I lied to you and I'm not Portuguese. I am. I mean, my last name's very obviously Portuguese, but when you said that, immediately my insides like had a full panic attack.
Oh no.
Because and I was just like, yeah, I am. I might have even been like, oh, well, I'm half, like dismissing, because I have never felt super connected to my Portuguese roots because I don't know the language. I've never been to Portugal. I had no Portuguese friends growing up, maybe one. And here's the real like root. We're like getting to therapy already. The real root is that out of like all my cousins and stuff, my brother and I are the only ones who aren't 100% Portuguese. Everybody else is fully Portuguese, both parents.
Wow.
And my mom is not Portuguese. And so like all my cousins grew up in the same city and went to the same schools and had Portuguese friends. And my brother and I lived in a different city. So I always felt like this weird like mixture. Like when I was in school, I had a bully who literally said he used to bully me saying I was made from an orgy. So like I never, which like doesn't make sense, but I never felt like I belonged. And I was like, oh my God, here's Bianca. I would love to be her friend. Oh my God, I need to be Portuguese enough for you. And you mentioned like a food or something, and I had no idea what you were talking about, like a Portuguese food, and I wanted to die. And I was wondering if you could tell in that conversation, or if I played it cool.
Okay, this is why, and sorry, directors out there, but she should be winning an acting award.
Because like, I don't know where you're going with it. Oh, well.
Oh my God, I would have never known. And also that makes me feel real good because let me tell you, I am a very poo-poo Portuguese and poo-poo Italian because I'll tell you right now, I don't speak the languages. I don't, like, I just bene pasta for the Italian and Portuguese. I like the music and like
I know like a handful of words, but like no one taught me, and I was like kind of one of the only cousins who didn't learn. I'm so okay. So do you feel connected to like your Italian and or Portuguese roots?
So I fully like very connected with my Portuguese side because there was a point in my life where I lived with my Portuguese grandma and we were really close with her. Like we seen her all the time, every weekend. When we lived with her, she was living with us. And oh gosh, yeah. And Portugal, I've been to Portugal like plenty of times. It's just like, you know, I don't know how to. Actually, it makes me mad. I should know how to speak it. I love the food.
I know. Do your parents speak it? Which side's Portuguese? Your dad or your mom?
My mom's Portuguese, but my dad is very good at speaking Portuguese. Like he married my mom and like married the family. Like people are always like, "Oh, you must be the Portuguese one," and he's like, "No, like that's my wife." Like, yeah.
Your mom's like, "Hello."
Dad, his family is like his distant relatives or whatever are really big, but his immediate family is very small, and like we weren't like that close with them. So like I'm very far away from my Italian side. And I like to make it. So
I've been watching so much of What We Do in the Shadows, so I'm like, I'm there with you. So good. Good. Cool. Okay, well, I would love to like chat with you a little bit about your family actually, because I was gonna say, I don't know if you know, how would you? I would never tell you. I don't have the guts to. I am such a fan of you and your sisters. Like okay, so is it Raquel and is it Shaughnessy?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, that's so right. Yes. Okay.
So Raquel and Shaughnessy. Yeah. You three, it's like a band. Like the Haim sisters.
That's what we should be.
Oh my God. It's like my dream. It is my dream. Okay, so are you middle or oldest?
Oh my God, I love how we do. Okay, guess.
Okay, so my guess.
Yes.
Oh, I know Shaughnessy's youngest.
Yes. That's correct.
Okay. I think you I think Raquel is middle.
Yes. That's right.
Oh my God, I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. Okay, so how many years between you and Raquel?
3 years.
Okay. So for 3 years you were only child. You were like a little toddler, star little baby. Okay. So this is just like my pure a peeping Tom. I don't know. It's like my curiosity, like purely my curiosity. Yeah. What is the dynamic between the sisters? Like if you were like, this is the funny one. This is the whatever. I don't know. Whatever you want to say. What is the dynamic? Give us, I'm just going to sip my wine and listen about this. This is my dream. Okay. I want a reality show ASAP. Bravo.
This is the story about the Alongi sisters.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay.
I am the eldest. I am your loud theater. Let me dance on the table, everybody. Watch me sing. Child. Okay, that was me. Like Grease on repeat, like fully asking for a leather jacket to be Sandra D, and then turns into Sweet Little Angel. Like that was me. Then Raquel came along, and she was, I don't even know if this is an appropriate thing to say now anymore. Like the tomboy. Like is there another?
I have no idea, and people know what you mean.
Okay, but yes, sorry if that's disrespectful. I don't know.
Let us know. I don't know either.
But okay, so
when we grew up, that was like a thing you would say, and that was like a word to reference.
Right. So now I apologize if that's wrong, but I'm sorry. But Raquel came along, and she was quiet. She was quiet, but she like always watched what was going on, or she would like be, honestly, she was like, I think she was my little sidekick. She thought I was always very funny, and like we got along well because we were so different. Like I would play with, let's say, Barbies, and then I'd be like, can you build me a table for my doll? And she'd be right there with her Legos. And be like, so that's that. That's Raquel. And she's like the athlete. So like she just exudes cool. Like she's cool. And the biggest joke is like when I take off and become famous, she'll be my manager, because like every time like I'll leave my house, I'm like, do I look good? She's like, change your shoes. I'm like, that's a good idea. You know?
Oh, I love well, I mean, I don't even know her, but I'm like, God, she's really cool. Like anytime you post about her or a story, I'm like, fuck, she's cool. Okay.
Yeah, she's so cool.
She's so cool. I'm such a fan of hers.
She has
I don't
like
even
a really
know her.
cool job. And the reason why people are always like, who's the oldest? I'm like, yeah, it looks like Raquel's the oldest because she got her shit together. Like she just has her shit together. She's like cool and has her shit together. And like I'm over here like, I don't know, maybe I'll be your flight attendant tomorrow. Like, excuse me? Like what? And then listen to the sweet, sweet little baby Shaughnessy came into our life 14 years later.
Wait, what?
Yes.
No, there is 14 years between her and Raquel?
And me.
And you.
Years, yeah.
So
like
3 years and then,
yeah,
oh my God, that's so pathetic. 11 years?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God.
So our parents have a little surprisey surprise.
Yeah.
And honestly, truly, the best surprise ever, because Shaughnessy is, she is a combo of the both of us. She's like cool, but then she also is like so talented and like okay, so I paint on the side, but like she can paint, and she's so smart. Like I was all like, please, I can't do math, Dad, help me. And then Raquel was all like, I'll do it by myself. And then Shaughnessy's all like, I could do it all, but like it's like she just does it. She speaks French. She's so tall. She has straight hair. She's smart.
She has straight hair.
Yeah, like look at me. I'm like I just like I can't. She's also like my baby. Like she's 17, but I still like talk to her. I'm like, Shansi, like, you want to come stay with me? And she does. She'll come stay in Toronto and hang out with her sisters, and it's cute.
Oh my God. I feel it's interesting because you know how you were like, oh well, people think maybe Raquel's the older one because of like how I'm like, oh maybe I'll be a flight attendant tomorrow or whatever. It's interesting because the reason that I thought maybe like the reason that I thought, oh, I think Bianca's middle is because you seem so free. Like you seem, because, okay, and I should give background. It's like, I don't know if you've heard of this, it's like the birth order traits, like the how like your personality traits can be kind of like whittled down to what order you were born in, first kid, second or middle kid, and then youngest kid, and it's like the traits that are associated with that, and mostly it's just like because of parenting styles. Like you're like the first kid, parents are going to give a lot of attention, they're going to be like maybe a little bit too overbearing, worried, whatever. And so then firstborn is typically very like reliable, achievers, they fear failure, maybe they also like thumbs up, they also you weren't even near the screen, I don't know how it thumbs up, but I loved it. I was like, I believe that. And I just thought like, oh, that's me for sure. Like I have a hard time taking chances and just being like, go with it.
Because you're the eldest.
Because, oh yes, sorry, I'm the eldest. Okay. And with you, I'm like, oh my God, Bianca just goes for it. And she's herself and she's so uninhibited and like can just be free and take chances. And I thought, that's a middle child for sure. That kid, or a youngest. But I knew about the star that is Shaughnessy. So I knew you weren't the youngest because I knew she had a 17th birthday within the last whatever. So that's why I thought, it wasn't because I thought Raquel was like better in some way. I just thought, oh, you're just way too fun to be a first child.
Oh my God, well, thank you.
You are welcome. I need to be a little bit more of you as first child.
No, yeah. Oh no, I'm always thinking, I'm like, I'm not a good first child. Like, I'm not doing a good job over here. I'm making us look bad.
Do you see yourself as somebody who like can take risks and just like goes after, or do you feel like people might see you that way, but you're like, no, that's not who I am?
Well, like that, for you to say that, I'm like, whoa, cool, I do, because like I think I do. I think I do. There's sometimes lately, as I've been getting older, like I've been a little bit more like, ooh, I'm too scared to do that. But like, but oh my God, like, like 15, 16, 17, up until like I was 25, I was, whatever I'm doing, and I don't care. And like, it was nutso butso. Like, can you imagine being 16 and telling the guidance counselor, they're like, okay, so like, you're gonna have to like, you know, pick things and this and that. I'm like, no math, no science, gonna be a star, baby. Like,
where did you get that like confidence and conviction? Like, where does that come from?
No, but let me tell you, that was really stupid. Because I like, I don't know who the hell I thought I was.
I feel like you were who a lot of us in therapy are like, why can't we be like that? Like, honestly, I feel like that's an incredible trait of just kind of like unconditional faith in yourself of like, I don't know, I don't want math, so I'm going to do that. Literally one of the first things I ever said to my therapist in like the first session was like, I don't have a gut instinct, so help me find it because it's gone. I have no gut voice. I've been ignoring her for so long. She gave up. She doesn't give a shit. She's reading a book somewhere. She's like, won't listen. Yeah. She's like, okay, great. Don't want to take my advice. Goodbye. So honestly, I'm like, and like for sure I took, you know, and I still like would take baby chances or follow my gut or whatever. But my God, that ability to be like, I want this and therefore I'm going to do it. And there doesn't need to be a million steps in between to like convince me otherwise, I think is such a superpower of yours.
I don't know. It was very dumb. That's very dumb. I quickly learned things along the way, being like, oh, maybe I should have went to school for theater. But anyways.
Oh, well, it doesn't seem like you need it. Because, so you started out as a professional dancer, right?
Yes.
I watched the dance reel. You were badass. I watched that from 2013. Listen, it was I was like, Bianca.
That's
okay. And then, so how did you, and then you've got into comedy and voice acting and on camera acting and theater acting and Second City. Like, how did that transition happen? How did you get into comedy?
Wow. Okay, so listen, I started dancing when I was 3.
Oh.
And my dad told my mom, like, this is silly. She's very little. Like, this is going to be a lot of money. Like, and my mom is like, she really likes it. Like, she asks to go. Like, she wants to go. And like, so up until like small age, it was like recreational. And then it became very serious where I was like literally dancing 6 days a week. Like I'd finish school. My dad would pick me up, have like dinner in the car. I'd change in my bodysuit and then like go to dance from like 4 till 9 and then like go to school and do that. Like I did that for literally like all through grade school, all through high school. Like
wow.
I along the way too, I developed ulcerative colitis. So I got really, really sick, but like dancing seemed to keep it at bay. It was like really weird because
Wait, and can I ask, what is ulcerative colitis? Wait, I didn't even say it right. What is
that? Ulcerative colitis is when your large intestines are all inflamed. And sometimes it could lead to like surgery of fully removing the intestine and having like a bag for the rest of your life, or just removing a part of it. But I was so young. I was diagnosed when I was like 14.
Oh my God.
It was like it was bad. It was bad because they thought it was so many different things. They were like, oh, is there boys at school making you feel away? Or like it's just like, it's so weird. They're like, should she talk to somebody? And it's like, no, it's just like, I guess it's in your genes. Like we had past cousins and relatives that had it, but like, I don't know. Anyways, I've had it. And then like dance was kind of like an outlet. Like there was so much caca from that, literally, because ulcerative colitis is when you like, have the freaking shits, okay? You do not have good control, baby girl. You have to watch what you eat. You're on medication. It's just like, oh my God, when I look at pictures of when I was like in high school, I can't, because like it was like dance was like something I just looked forward to going to do, that like I guess was a distraction from all the caca that was happening. Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, anyway, that. So like, dance, la 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 la. And throughout dance, I was always the biggest goofball. Like in class, they like they do Bianca, okay, yep, you gotta be it's time to dance. Like, don't no being silly, you know, or like cracking jokes. And I was like, okay, like this is a problem. We can't do that.
This is a problem.
So, you know, okay, so now we're in high school mode. I'm telling teachers, I'm like, bye guys, gonna be
no math for me. Yeah. Sorry. Here's my autograph. Goodbye.
I went off and I started dancing with this company out of LA, and I tour with them to different cities, and they would hold dance conventions, and I would assist these choreographers. And along the way, I was like, oh, I just got to move to LA or New York, because like then I'll be like a pop star's background dancer, or like I'll be on Broadway or something. And while I was there, I kept impersonating a lot of my like instructors and stuff like that behind the scenes, and it kind of got out to them. And then they were like, oh my God, like Bianca, like you're gonna open up some of our shows on the weekend, and like you could like essentially make fun of all the like faculty. And I was like, what? No, like this was just like jokes. Like no.
Oh my God, you're getting booked to roast already so early in the career.
Roasting the faculty members. That was just a little taste. But then my one I guess you could say boss was like, Bianca, have you heard of improv? Like, have you heard of Second City? Like Groundlings? Have you heard of that? And I was like, I literally had no clue what that was. And I was like, no, but like I'm just gonna be like a famous dancer, so like I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you know. And she's like, I really She's like, I think you'd really thrive in that. And I was like, a little bit offended, because I was like, oh, excuse me, I'm supposed to dance for like Lady Gaga or something. You know?
Yeah.
She paid for me to take a weekend improv drop-in, like 2 weekends or whatever, at Second City in Toronto, and had my parents drive me up to go take these weekend classes. I actually met Corey Birch in it years ago.
Oh my God.
But I didn't want to tell my parents I liked it. Like I was like, yeah, I guess that was fun. Whatever.
What was the worry? Was it like, then they won't see me as a dancer anymore? I'll be less of a dancer?
Yeah, like I was like, but this is like, I mean, I guess this is fun, but no, I need to, Lady Gaga needs me. Like, you know, Broadway is calling.
I'm going to miss their phone call if I'm in an improv class.
Yes. Okay, so then zip really quickly, I moved to New Jersey to live with my aunt.
Okay.
And then I'm living in New Jersey, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a Broadway star. And I'm auditioning, and I'm getting up early in the morning, and I'm putting on my face, and I'm like lining up to go for like West Side Story or like Wicked or whatever the
Oh my God.
And it was so fun, but I was really young. Like people were finishing theater school at 24, let's say 23. And I was like 18, 19. Like they were like, oh, like, which was fine. But anyways, that didn't get me anywhere, okay? But it did get me a cruise ship. And then I worked on a cruise ship, and I danced and did corny, you can dance, having a time of your life. Met a boy, stupid, moved to England for 4 years.
No way. Oh, is that I saw in the bio or in my research, like, did musicals in UK? I'm like, how did that happen? Oh my God, moved for a boy. How did the family, I would usually say parents, but we know that I'm such a fan of the sisters.
Well,
so
okay,
how did the family feel about, that with the move?
Well, this is what I mean. I'm making the first child of the world look really bad, because I got off the ship and I was like, I'm back. And then after I was like, I'm leaving. Like, I was so dumb. Like Amanda, you have no idea. Like, I think about that now and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, did I even think about the fact that I was gonna miss my family? No, I was just like, bye guys. So good to see you. here's all your gifts for my travels. Bye-bye. See you later. I'm going to the UK and I will be drinking all the tea. Like, excuse me?
Okay, but the things you're saying that you like, maybe not regret doing, but the things where you're like, I maybe shouldn't have done that, are literally some of the exact same things that I'm like, why didn't I do that? Like getting up and moving somewhere that you wanted to, or like following your fucking gut or following your heart and going over to do it. I get caught up. Don't worry about like giving the firstborn a bad name, because I do enough of it for everybody. If all firstborns want to go and have some freedom in their life, I will hold down the like terror that I can't. But I get caught up in like the logistics, like, oh, well, how will I move countries? How will I get a job? How will I do this? And the people who make it happen just do it, I think. Like, were you worried about anything? Or were you like, UK, hello, cheerio, chap, or whatever?
You know what? I wish what you just said, where you're like, weren't you thinking about like the job and blah, blah, blah? No, like, I was like, I will figure it out when I land there. Like, are you joking?
Oh, I'm like, I love that.
No.
It's so funny. Oh my God. I wonder if we were friends when we were younger, if like I would have thought out logistics for you and you would have pushed me to like follow dreams more. Like maybe we would have been so good for each other.
I think, honestly, I think so. But this is also like, and this is actually, a lot of my close friendships are completely opposite of who I am. Like, and I think that's why, oh my God, yeah, like, sorry, I'm just like having a realization.
I love it.
Two of like my very best friends that I grew up with are very opposite of me, where I'd be like, guys, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a place in Montreal, and then we're gonna eat bagels, and we're gonna blah, 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 blah. And they're like, okay, so Bianca, we should figure out the date, the time, when we're gonna go.
Right.
Let's take the train tomorrow. Like, you know, like.
Well, it kind of makes sense though that like because at such an early age, like at 3 years old, you had like a perfect pairing when Raquel was born, and you had the Lego to your Barbie. And so it's like, of course, then when you meet friends as a kid, you might subconsciously kind of like recreate that of like, great, so I need someone not exactly like me. What feels good in my heart is when someone's like opposite, and then we help each other. I think that's cute. So
true. Are you okay? Sorry.
Yeah.
Side note. Then we'll come back.
Sidebar. Love it.
Are you and your brother very similar or very opposite? Like, what's the dynamic there?
So we're very different. So he's 2.5 years younger than me, and he's very much like, my parents even say when we were growing up that I could not fall asleep unless somebody held me. God, it's so pathetic. Like I needed constant attention, whereas my brother, if you held him, he would not sleep. Like put him in the crib, leave him alone. Or even if he had to do something, I wanted help, he wanted to just do it. He has like he has like a sleeve of tattoos and a back tattoo, and he's so cool. And I like have wanted to dye my hair for 3 years and haven't done it. Like I grew up thinking he was so cool that he would just be his authentic self. And he grew up thinking that I was like perfect and followed the rules, and he was compared to me. That's kind of in a nutshell.
Heard that. Yeah, going back to an old pod, because I listened to all of them.
Oh my God. So
I remember you sharing this, actually. Yes, where like you're like, I was always like, my brother's the coolest, and he was all like, Amanda, I wanted to be you. And you're like, what?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I really think like that's why even when like earlier when I was saying, oh, you seem to just like take risks and go for it, and then it's like, do you see yourself that way? Because I think it's so interesting when you hear how other people see you, not to value it over like what you think of yourself, but it can be so interesting to kind of learn like how you're coming across to people, because sometimes it's so different than what you're telling yourself in your head about yourself. It's so crazy different. Yeah. Actually, okay, I'm interested in okay, first of all, this wine is really good. Like, I'm really enjoying this. And like, oh my God, like it's like very like juicy. Oh my God, you have your coffee pitcher. I'm gonna pour more. Usually like I don't even top up during a pod, but I'm topping up because this is so good. Okay, so speaking of this, of like how you see yourself and how others see you. Okay, I feel this like weird connection to you, even though like we don't really know each other and we've hardly talked. And so I want to ask you about something, and I want to make sure I'm not overstepping. So you just like shut me right down. And honestly, I'll edit it out if we want, if you're like, shut it down. No. Okay. Not shut it down. I'm like building this up. Okay. So I think objectively, you have a very like distinct and unique voice. And I think people would say it like an iconic Jenny Slate kind of thing. Or like there's certain people where you're like, oh, they have a distinct voice. And it doesn't just have to be, I feel like Jenny Slate is similar to your voice tone. It could also be like a Toni Braxton. I don't know why I was trying to go low and that made me think of it. So what I'm like wondering is, I'm sure people throughout your life, or no, I'm assuming people throughout your life told you like you have a unique voice, you have a really special voice, you have a really different voice, like used all these different words. And I'm wondering like, what's been your such a way to say way to say this, but what's been like your relationship to your voice growing up? Was it like, did you see it as different in a bad way? Like, oh my God, it sets me apart and people think I'm like othered? Or were you like, oh, I'm a star and this is one of my star qualities? Like what's been your relationship growing up and now to your voice?
Okay. Just to stem it back from to now.
Yeah.
My dad is okay, a musician. And he had a band growing up. And when I was younger, I think I thought my dad was like a rock star, even though he was playing, you know, like he was a wedding singer, okay? But like sometimes some weddings he'd let me come along with him and I could like watch the band, and then when they like wrapped up the night, I got to sing a couple songs, you know?
Oh, so did you feel like a rock star? Like, I'm picturing like you already want to be a star and perform and like now you get to be on stage.
It's bad. Like my head when I was younger, Raquel would tell me, she's like, you were mean. I was like, that's not
You're like, it's called being a diva. Pick up my coat and let's go, Raquel.
True. And she was just like, oh, anyway. So here I was like, yeah, in my head I was like, maybe I'll become a singer. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But I took like maybe 3 singing lessons in my life. Okay. Yeah. And I remember like I think the teacher being like, hey, so you're really nasally. And I was like, that word. Like when I had learned that my voice was nasally, I was like, excuse me? Like I was like, oh, what? And I like didn't want to sing. I didn't want to sing anymore. I didn't want people to hear. Like I was just like, nasal? Like the nasal? I knew what that was. And I was like, anyways, so I don't think then I was like, I don't like my voice. Or like if I sang, I was like, oh no, like that's bad. It's nasally. Like I just knew that word and I was like, that's what my voice is. And then I did fall in love with musical theater, which led me to like, wanting to go to New York. So I was like, nasal is appreciated there. Give me the nasal. Like I was like, perfect. That's my world. But we didn't make it on Broadway, honey. We came back to Toronto.
Yet.
Yeah. We came back to Toronto, and when I got an agent here, they were like, oh, do you do voice? And I was like, do I do voice? And I was a little offended. I was like, again, so I was like, oh, shit, it's so freaking nasally. What are they talking about?
Like, was it like, oh my God, they noticed my voice? Like, they noticed my voice.
Yeah. Like, I was like, ugh. And I was like, no, I've never done voice. And I remember them saying like, well, I think it's something like you should really look into because like you have a distinct voice. Do you know this? And I was like, I guess. But like a part of me was like, oh no. Like, I was like, oh, I just want to do TV. Like, I was like, you know? Anyways, I did not get involved, learn anything about voiceover until the pandemic when I was like, okay, I'll make a voice reel.
Wow, no way. Oh my God. I want to ask you more about that too. You know,
and I love it now. Like now I do appreciate it, but I was like, oh my God, my voice. Oh my God. I didn't like to hear my voice on a voicemail. I'll probably not listen to this later because
you can just watch it on mute. We'll put subtitles for you. It's so, you know, just listening, like, it really goes to show how these things about us that are, I want to say so wonderful, but also can just be neutral, like facts, the first time somebody comments about them, like the way they do that can be so detrimental. Because if that singing teacher, instead of basically approaching your voice as if it's some sort of pathology or like problem to be solved or an obstacle to overcome, instead would be like, hey, you have such a unique, wonderful, special quality to your voice. Here are the best ways to use it. Like, embracing something that is different than others rather than like just fucking shining a light on it and be like, so we need to make it less different. I think that is one thing I feel so strongly for kids, is like, if there's something different about them, do not teach them to assimilate. Like,
No.
come on, that sucks, because otherwise maybe you would have been like, fucking wonderful, look at my voice. Maybe you'd want to be a star even more, you know, than like trying to hide it.
Or like, why don't we point out to the kids like people that are maybe someone they could idolize? Like, I remember now people being like, oh my god, you sound like oh shoot, what's her name? But some, let's say, Broadway singing people.
Kristen
at the time that I was
Chenoweth?
like, yes, all the time. Like, you know, like, why couldn't you be like, hey, you have a similar voice? Where I could be like, oh, okay, like, I might not be able to ever sound like this, but like, oh, that's what I could aim to try to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where I could find that I like it, because I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And for like a kid where, when you're describing how you are as a child, it just seems so like, hello, I have like a literal voice, but also just like a metaphorical, like, I have things to say and I matter and I have self-worth and self-value and I'm going to do something. And then for someone to just come and be like, hey, I'm going to chip away at your light a little bit, I'm like, very not cool. I had a singing teacher tell me that just like, I objectively was always a little bit sharp or a little flat. She's like, you're less than a semitone, always off. And that made it so because with singing, it is so much like the mental part of singing is so much about how to use that muscle. And so it can really fuck with you. And that stuck with me for so long, about like, oh, well, I'm not really good at pitch. That made me stop doing, like, I used to do open mics of just like doing covers and stuff just for me because I love singing.
That's so cool.
And I was like, I was taking singing. I was trained in singing since I was like, I don't know, like 7 or something. But I just stopped. I got into a musical theater company and she kind of said like, oh, you're pitchy. And the way it was delivered was like, oh, this is just your problem. And that's that. It wasn't like, here are some tools. Like, there was nothing.
Oh my god.
It can really stick with you. Yeah, like, and for you too, it can really stick, especially if it's something that feels like it's not something you can ever change, and you shouldn't have to anyway. But
also, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. You, what? You're like a little hidden, like, singer that I didn't know, or like, never even know. Like, are you kidding me? Like, let's go.
Let's go.
Like,
oh my god.
Now.
Can I tell you, like, my secret? Well, it's so funny because I know that a lot of people don't know that I sing, but because it was like such a big part of my life for so long, I'm like, no, everybody knows that. But I also, it's so strange. Like, I love singing in like a show or like in a theater piece. I love that. And I kind of like fell out of love with a lot of musical theater, but I think that was more like the politics of being in it and not actually the material itself. But I hate karaoke in public. Like, I cannot. I don't know why. I just can't. But my secret, like, hobby, or anytime I'm doing a voice acting self-tape, my like audition, my warm-up is I have a few like go-to karaoke things and I just do them at home. If I'm home alone one night, I just grab some wine and I do karaoke on my TV by myself. Like, I love solo karaoke.
Listeners, Amanda's coming over.
I'm sweating. And nobody asked me to do karaoke. I swear, because I'll die. I will die. So maybe this is where I need more of you. I would sing, like, I did this play a number of years ago. It was so, and I got to sing, like, basically, actually, do you know Julia Haste?
Yes.
She's an improv, so she was actually the director. That's how I met her. And I got to just be on stage for like an hour and a half and just like sing and act, like, but we sang within it. And I miss singing so much. I do. Anyway, back to you in voice acting, Bianca. I will. I need to find, like, I really would love to find a theater piece or on-camera piece, or honestly, I do it a lot. I love bringing out singing whenever I can when I'm like auditioning for animation. Like if I think a character would love to sing or I love bringing in a bit of musicality to that because I think it's so fun and it's a character, so I can like hide behind it a little bit.
And it showcases that you could take that character and they could sing. Because like a lot of, I mean, and you probably get this, a lot of like voiceover pieces that come in for you to like send your stuff over, like they do say and give us like 20 seconds of you singing, like, you know. And so like that's so cool, Amanda. You're so
Bianca cool. They've never asked me, but I'm so ready if they ask me. I'm so ready for them to ask me for 20 seconds of singing. I would like shit my pants, talk about crappy. But I feel like you are also so good. I was actually watching today. Well, I was watching a bunch of your animated stuff, but today I was watching Charlie's Colorform City as you as Macguffin. Is that what it's called? The little unicorn, right?
Yeah, little puffball.
Little puffball. And you are so wonderfully musical with that character. Like oh my God, I was like, this is killer. Okay, so I've always loved the world of animation. Like I feel like it's magical and mysterious and so freaking wonderful. And so cool. I think a lot of people don't know a lot about it. And here we have an animation, a voice acting star on the pod. So I want to like insider scoop. Like I want to ask you a little bit. So, okay, what is something when you started voice acting, and maybe like with whether it was auditioning or your first job or whatever, what surprised you about voice acting for animation or making animation or anything? Like what was something where you're like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I didn't anticipate this. Good or bad, it doesn't matter.
Oh my God. Okay, so first off, I feel so bad that I did not listen to people when they said, go make a voice reel, you will get jobs. Like I was like, nope, sorry, still gonna be a singer and dancer. I'm gonna be a comedic genius. La, 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 la. Like I'm gonna be on TV. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Like excuse me, like why don't you just listen to people around you? So first of all, I did not realize how much energy goes into embodying the character, like through your voice. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you're like, okay, I have to be like when they're running, I'm running. Like I have to bring that energy to make that little cartoon or something on the TV, like do these like strenuous things, or like they're feeling sad, like, you know, even down to like the tiniest little like tones where it's like you just saw something go by and you're like, huh? Like, you know, like
yeah.
Right? And I just didn't realize that. And what makes me sad is I jumped into that world where they didn't have the whole cast all together, like bouncing off of each other. So I was just like in a booth by myself, listening to what the other character would say. And then I, you know, say my lines. But yeah, I would just like the whole, and that's where I mean, like, I don't know what that world was before, but when I talked to other voice actors that were like, oh my God, like, yeah, we kind of wish things would go back to the way it was. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, we'd all be in a room together where like sometimes we could improvise a little bit like off of our lines, because like maybe let's say you're playing a duck and I'm like this mean ogre, like, you know, and we're like just playing off of each other a little bit from the lines. Like they like that. They're like, yeah, we could use that. And that's where like a little bit of improv comes into the play, you know, which I will say sometimes when I get like a self-tape or like, you know, reading for something, I improvise some of the lines on my second take. Like my first take, I'll be like, these are the lines you gave me. And then the second line, I'm like, hi, ding dong, and I add my own little like, and maybe they did this, like, you know, and then like sometimes I'll get feedback being like, the second take was so great. And I'm like, it was none of their lines.
Oh, isn't that so interesting? Like for sticking to the script or not, I feel like any workshop I ever take, that's one of the questions. And whether it's like commercial, like if you're getting a commercial voiceover, or if you're even getting a commercial on camera, there's always this fear. And I don't know where this fear comes from, because I actually think like somebody told me it. I don't think it came like naturally from me, but this fear that like, do not piss off the writers. Like, do not think, you're going to communicate to the writers that you think you're a better writer than them. But I
Yeah.
actually think, and I do think there are some writers out there who are going to get pissed off. But for
Oh,
the
yeah.
most
Oh.
part, I think like if writers are like, I don't know, if you're listening to a self tape and they just made your writing come to life, even if they're like improvising some stuff, I don't know. It's like, well, fuck. I want to work with that person because they're going to be a collaborator too. I don't know. Nobody take this advice from me. I'm not saying do all this. It's
Or
just,
me either.
it could be.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen.
I think the biggest thing, honestly, is like when I first started acting and I took every single like casting director workshop I could, or like any class I could. I just wanted to soak up all the knowledge because I also did not go to theater school and I felt like I had to like catch up with the rest of them or something.
Wow, okay,
And
know
so
that.
yeah, no, did not go. And I took like everything, and I was taking everything they said like right to heart. So that would be like, don't wear stripes to an audition. I was like, oh my God, like the, I'm not religious, but like the 10 commandments. I was like, dear, do not wear plaid or stripes. Like,
Wow.
and one thing I've learned over the past freaking decade and like working in casting and stuff, it's like, if a casting director tells you something, great, but take it down as, don't wear stripes for that casting director. Another one's not going to care. And also, if you show up and you're amazing, they're going to be like, great, at the callback, can you change your shirt? Like, it won't,
Yes.
it's not down to these little things,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So anyway, so yes,
No.
I love the improv thing.
I love
yeah.
and I love that you're saying that because and the reason why I think like a little part of me, again, like I know probably some directors and writers do not like that, and that's why I kind of do it on the second take. Like I'll say like, and now an improvised version. Anyways, but the point is, I think I've seen so many people in my life that have booked things and their stories are so bananas that I'm like, wait a minute, what? And they're like, yeah, like I sent a selfie of me on my toilet. Like I'm like, excuse me?
They're
like,
always the exception. Absolutely. It's always,
and I'm like,
yeah,
what?
totally. Yeah. I know. It's so true. And it's hard. Like, again, this is first child A-type personality, control freak. But I think what I worry about is like, so you always hear like, be memorable, stand out, but with this huge asterisk of like, but don't stand out for the wrong reason. But I think if you're just creative, if you bring yourself to something and you're creative in your own voice, and then you're also like a kind human.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't control everything, but I love, like, even when I specifically Macguffin, when I was watching that today, I was like,
yes,
look at all of the physical like reactions of when you're flying around and when you land and all those things. And I think sometimes in self-tapes for animation, people forget that. I think it's like you're just saying the line, especially when you come from on camera, because on camera it's like, well, my body's gonna do that, or I'm gonna, but when you're the voice, you're not thinking all the time of like, no, you also need to be out of breath, or you need to land or do the little fart noise like you did. You got to do all of that.
It's true. And if you ever get a voice self-tape thing again, read the little in between things like just fell off a tree. Like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I'm like, whoa, Bill, did you see that? Like, and like,
oh my God, like animation gold. Does anyone want to animate that little clip, that little voice clip right there?
No, but it's true. And like, that's where I'll throw the improvised section. If it's like, I fell off the bush and then I have to give my line, I'll be like, whoa, was that a nail? And then I'm like, hey, Bill, guess what? Mom's not liking the pasta I made, like, or whatever. But like, I don't know.
That was perfect. That was Italian. You brought it all. You circled it all around like an improviser would. You did so many callbacks in that one little clip. Well, and I wonder, like, getting into voice acting, which, first of all, I mean, I just think you're an incredible voice actor. And getting into that, I didn't know that you got into it with, like, kind of this insecurity that was, like, very much placed on you about your voice. Yes. And so I guess, like, I wonder if you ever worry or wonder, like, if people are typecasting you in certain roles or certain genres because of your voice, because it is like such a special, unique voice.
Yeah, okay, so I will say it does pay my bills. So now I'm like, I love your little voice.
Of course.
And I'm like, here's some nice tea for you. Like, I do love it. But I know 100% I am definitely gonna be all the baby squirrels, all the birds, all the little babies, because that's what it is. Like I took one voice workshop, and it was on commercial voice because I was like, I want to try to sell a car.
Yeah.
Let me tell you right now, the voice teacher, and he will remain nameless.
Yep, nameless.
Like,
yep.
Okay, so Bianca, let's just try that again from the top, and it'd be like Leon's red tag sale. And like, okay, so like a like try to go and lower into your register. I did not walk away with any material that I could put on my voice room because I sounded like I was like 10 years old. Like it was bad. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely typecasted in animation, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay because one day I'm gonna write a cartoon.
I was just gonna say,
and I'll play. I'm a business lawyer. Like,
well, and it's funny though because earlier when you're like, okay, so for example, Amanda, if you were playing a duck, and then I was playing an ogre, and I thought in my head, ooh, she casted herself as an ogre. I wonder if that's because she is that like a secret dream? Like I want to play things that aren't, what did you say, aren't baby squirrels or like whatever. Like I want to like broaden your horizon, people. Maybe it's fun to have a villain have this voice or a big ogre or something. Oh,
yeah. Like some of the name titles that I wish I could share that I go out for are, I'm like, are those even a word? Like, it's like, oh God, I almost said one, but like shooby dooby doo. And I'm like, and you're going to be playing the role of the little tiny ant. Like, you know, like, so yeah, I just want to be a big working tiger. I don't know.
No, and I also love like how fun if it's whatever voice you want. It can be the same voice that you use for Shoobaloo, and it is for this ogre. Like whatever, we'll just write. I actually have this show with a friend an animated show that I want to write. So I'll just tell you the characters when we write it. You can just pick whatever character you want, and I don't care what voice you put, and you can just do whatever.
I'll take even the fence. Like I'll just be the fence. Like anything.
Okay, but it will be a big, scary. Like it's not going to be baby. It's going to be the antithesis of. It's going to be big, scary fence, or it's going to be, I'll give you the pitch deck and you just pick what you want to be and you pick whatever voice and we're just going to do that.
I have a question for you. Have you ever had a self-tape where it's like, you're like spinning, and you have to make yourself sound like you're spinning?
Yes. Or like you're ping-ponging around, or like you're whirling in in like a whirlpool, like in the water.
So what do you do? What do you do?
Okay, well, listen. I'm like playing with my hair now. Now listen, Miss Bianca books more than I do, so take this with a grain of salt. But what I do typically is like I'm gonna back up a little bit of my mic. So I will like, I don't know if it's gonna pick it up like this with the settings that I have right now, but if I have to like, let's say I'm like flying in from far away, I got torpedoed, I would be like. Like listeners can't tell. Or if I'm whirling, I'll be like, so I will physically distance myself and bring myself like closer or further to the mic. So I do that. And I am assuming some people do it just in their voice. And I think that can probably work as well. I just think, honestly, it's easier if I can do it physically.
Yeah, same.
What do you do?
No.
What do you do? Yeah.
No, I do the same. I had talked to somebody, they're like, oh, like I could do that with my voice. And I was like, oh, well, I'm sorry, your voice god. Like I was like, excuse me?
I believe if we wanted to just like sit exactly the same distance, whatever, away from the mic, and we wanted to do that with our voice, it's not probably, with absolute certainty, it is a skill that we could perfect. I don't need to, is how I feel. I will use that time to perfect something else in my voice because I can use the physical. I'm not going to be in a coffin when I'm recording this.
No.
So I can move my head around a little bit, or you can do it a little, like, yeah. I also find the physicality helps because there are some like aspects of your voice that maybe I want them to be a bit more authentic and not recreated. Like, sometimes it's like a tone in your voice, or like it's like a raspy or something. If I'm flying through the air, if I'm like coming in from far away, even if I have to call out, like if it's something I want to call out to somebody, I will go further away from the mic and call it out. I just think it's easier.
That's so good. And that's how I think normal people do it.
Okay, good. You know what? And I think sometimes when people are like, oh, I just do this, my first instinct is like, okay, well, don't belittle me and make me feel like a piece of shit, because I do that enough myself. But then I think to myself, ooh, it's because they're having some insecurity stuff that they have to feel one up. And I'm like, you know what? You can feel one up. That's okay. You can take that. That's cool. I'm going to go home, get some wine. I'm going to put on a cute blazer and hug my dog and tap my head. I don't know why I tapped my head. Tap my head and just feel okay about that. Okay, speaking of people one-upping, oh my God, weirdly, we are like really moving through the stuff I wanted to talk to you about in such a natural way, and I'm not even surprised because we can finally have a full conversation. Okay, so people have often in my life told me that I have like, the words they use, like a bubbly personality or like an upbeat personality. I feel like you, similarly, I feel like we would both fall in that category of people who like others say, oh my God, you're so positive, you're so friendly. And I have wondered over the years for myself, sometimes it feels like people see that friendliness or like positivity as something that they can take advantage of maybe, or like I'm an easy target for people like asking too much of me, or I'm the butt of the joke, or I don't know, and many little things. So I feel like sometimes I have to, put in, like, I really have to emphasize to people like, hey, I'm going to be really nice to you and friendly and generous, but also I deserve respect and I need to be taken seriously. And I'm just wondering if you feel similarly to any of that ramble.
I do. I think I do, because like I do get the like, oh, Bianca, like you're so bubbly and like on and blah, like funny, and like sometimes like if I'm just like more like quiet, or like maybe I am like sad or something, like, or not even sad, like I'm just like neutral, or like I try to go in with a like, Bianca, do not be over the top, just go in and be normal. Because sometimes I genuinely am like so good to see you, like, you know, and then I'm like, some people don't like that, like don't do that, like, you know, right? So like, and then they'll be like, hey, is everything okay? And I'm like,
oh yeah,
and then
like
I'm like
that too. Ugh.
And then I'm like, is something okay? Like what? But okay. But yes, I take advantage thing. Sometimes I feel like I don't get to say what I want to say. Do you know what I mean? Or like, I don't know.
How so? What do you mean?
Like, like sometimes, like one time I was out with a group of people.
Okay.
And I'm all like, la 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 dee dee dee, and then like it's like, like maybe I'm a little bit sometimes the butt of the joke, or like, or really I want to be like, hey, I have an opinion, or like a thought about that. But because I'm like, I think maybe, whoa, sorry, I'm just having this like, whoa, like you play little characters, you have a little voice. Like sometimes I feel like I'm like, hey, I should maybe like talk like this. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say, or if this is coming off. I don't know how to answer it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think it's just something that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
For listeners, I don't know. You can't see us, but we get it.
But honestly, even through your physicality, like even when you're like, okay, maybe I should, and you're kind of like adjusting your blazer, like it's kind of this thing of like, okay, in order to earn respect from people, or for people to take me seriously, do I need to change who I am? But then that doesn't feel fair, because that's not really, then you're not taking me seriously. You're taking this like put on version. And I totally know what you mean of like, or even for example, actually this came up I watch a lot of Real Housewives. I was watching Real Housewives, and they like went away, and there was like an objectively crappy bedroom that one of the people got. They put them in, and they're like, oh, why am I getting this bedroom? And the other person was like, because like you'll cause the least amount of drama about it. And I got so angry, because I was like, that's me. I get the shitty bedroom, or I'm the one, like, if someone's mean to me and then I say, why are you being mean? And then that person cries, everybody goes to them. And I'm like, why? And they say, well, because you're secure, or like, because you don't need that. You're fine. You're happy. And it's like, wait, what? Do I need to be an absolute monster? Or like, do I need to change myself in order for people to see me as someone who's worthy of like respect and care? Like, it's really confusing. Yeah, and like you said, like, you want to be happy and people are like, "Oh, it's so wonderful that you're so positive," but then they also sometimes make it something that, like, I don't know, like, is wrong or something.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is why, like, I thank my sisters for this, because they're brutally honest. Like, Raquel will be like, you never say what you actually want. You never actually, like, if there's a cheese board, okay? And I'm like, damn it, there's one piece of brie left. I'm gonna make sure someone else has it. Even though, like, you know what I mean? My sister's like, that brie's mine. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, she's just like, it, and it annoys her. Like, she'll tell me, she's like, oh my God, like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, whatever you want to do. But really, I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. But I'm just like, happy to be there, easy to work with. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's one thing that, like, maybe to some people is like, oh, they're so nice, and then I could kind of get walked on, you know, where it's like, I should really be like, I'm really nice and happy to be here, but also I want to go have Indian food tonight, and like this is how I feel. Like, I need to work on that. Like, I really need to work on that. I'm very I'm always yesing everything. Like, I'm like, sure, yes. They're like, hey, can you do this at 2:00? I'm like, absolutely. And I'm like changing my plans, or like trying to, it's like, if it doesn't work out, like, just say it. Or like, it's bad. It's bad. Or
I feel so similar. What for you, like, what is the fear? Like, if I say, or like, what's the thing you're God, every time I ask this question, it sounds more and more serious. I'm trying to get away from that. But like, if I were to say to you, like, oh, do you want to grab dinner tonight? And you're like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, where do you want to go? And you want to get Indian food, but you're like, oh, wherever. And I say, what about sushi? And you're like, oh, I really don't want sushi. Like, might irritate my intestines. I would really like Indian food instead. What is the fear if you say to me, actually, I don't want sushi, I want Indian food? Would that work for you? What's the worry? Like, what is the worst case scenario?
I know. I don't know. That doesn't even cross my mind. Like, if you were like, I feel like sushi, I'd be like, oh my God, same, me too. And it's like, excuse me, punch me in the face. Like, Bianca, like, are you kidding? Like,
so does it, so I guess, I mean, I guess part of me is like, okay, so what's wrong with that? But I guess
I think my fear is like, I just want it to be good for them, and then I'll sort it out. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, if it's good for you, it's good for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. I'm happy if you're happy. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want them to be like, oh God, Bianca was difficult, or like, oh, like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
oh, honey, you are a first child. You are a first child.
You're a kid. Is that a thing?
Welcome back. No, it's no, I totally, it's like, I actually found the other day, I realized that I've been doing this in my relationship, like with my partner. This feels very weird to talk about, because I can never talk about my partner on this, really. Or like in a serious way or whatever. And I love that the thumbs up just pops up. I love that your Zoom is like, there's a ghost in the podcast that's like popping a little. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, I think that you should drink every time the thumbs up comes up.
Yes, that's,
and somebody count it, like the pop-up video thing. I realized, okay, now I'm like blocking it out because I got so scared of saying it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I realized that what I would do is I would like ask my partner if like something was wrong, or like we were disagreeing on something. I would focus the conversation so much on how they felt, and trying to be gathering information about how they felt. And then that's kind of all. I wouldn't like, I was basically being like, okay, if I can make sure that they're okay, I'll figure out my own emotions. Like, I can deal with that. I'll figure that out. That's fine. As long as I can just, and a lot of it for me is like controlling the situation so that people don't leave a little bit for me. Cause it's like, if I can just control that they're okay, I'll deal with my shit. It's fine. But it is, I mean, it's so interesting that for you, you have that bit of like, if they want to go for sushi, I'll go for sushi. But then also like, if I want to move to the UK, I'll move to the UK. Like, that's so interesting that you have both of those parts.
It's really messed up. It's really messed up.
I love
it's messed up.
Like, so interesting. You're like, messed up.
I need to work on that. Like, how am I going to find a partner? She's single. Everybody listener, she's single. Because I'm very much like, whatever you want. La, 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 la. No.
That's hard. So then in relationships, it's like you'll do the same thing, and then what? Is it like eventually you're like, okay, well, I can't. Now I'm not happy because I can't just do what they want all the time.
Yes. Then I get to this like the rim, and then I'm just like, and like
boiling point.
I haven't had many serious relationships, but the like 2 that I've had, it's been that. Like it's been like. And then I'm like, I gotta go.
Okay, I gotta go out of this relationship, out of this situation. Yeah, it's hard.
And
it's hard.
And they never end because like somebody was like bad. It's always been like, I need to go do what I want to do and make me happy again. Like, because Bianca, you need to like have a balance. Like, just do what you want or tell this person. Like, I just don't want them to dislike something. So I'm always like, I don't know. It's really bad. And like, that's really bad. And I think, oh my God, I'm just thinking, I was like, yeah, my very, very, very first relationship, I was like so young and naive and like dumb, where I was like, you are the best in the world, and whatever you want to do, I want to do. But I regret, like, I started to resent that person because I was like, I want to go do this, but whatever you want to do. But I also want to go do this. Maybe that's because I'm a Sagittarius. I don't know.
Oh my God, someone look it up. No, it is hard. I mean, you know, what I find tricky is that like, if I go into a situation where I'm like, okay, I'll take care of your needs. Like if you want Indian, I'll go for Indian, even though I don't want it. I think the hope is that you're matching up with a person who does the same thing, even though that's probably a nightmare. I'm like, no, we can go for Indian. And you'd be like, we can go for sushi. And it would just be 7 hours of that. But I think for me, the resentment comes in when I have a person where it's like, I've done everything you want to do. I've taken care of everything and I haven't gotten that back. But the problem is like, nobody can trust. It's really hard. I think it's really hard to trust a people pleaser as a people pleaser myself. Because if I say, yeah, we can go for sushi, no problem. My friend or my partner cannot trust that I'm telling the truth, or if in 2 weeks I'm going to resent them for it. They can't trust me. And it's so it's actually like what I'm doing, thinking that I'm doing it out of care for the other person. I'm actually not caring for them at all. Because to care for them would be like, I want to go for Indian and you want to go for sushi. And maybe we go for Indian or sushi, but at least you say it. You know what I mean? Like it's...
Oh my God.
It's such a mind fuck though.
So much. Like that was triggering. I was like, yes.
You're like, grab my coffee. I need coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a, I mean, thank God we have Raquel. Thank God we have Shaughnessy to keep us honest. And listen, when we make plans after this, I totally encourage you to be like, no, I don't really want to go to that. And I will never think you're difficult. I'll just think that you're a human being who like has opinions. Cause like I would like a human being who has opinions to be around me, because then I like know who they are and I know what they like and I know what to like buy you a gift card for. Indian, not sushi. You know what I mean?
You are so like, we're both gonna be trying to please each
I know.
other, like,
it's gonna be exhausting.
It's gonna be so exhausting.
We are gonna need a break from each other. But then maybe we'll both boil to the point where we're like, I hate Indian food and I've never told you. And then we'll just get to an honest place.
Yes. Okay, this is also my next thought. I'm like, I remember, in my very first relationship, like, he could not figure out what I liked and didn't like. And I was like, we've been together for 4 years. Like, excuse me, how do you not know me? I know everything. I know that you have fungal problems with your toes. Like I know everything. You know? And it's like, maybe like I just need to have one of those scrolls when I meet people and be like, "Brrrr," and then be like, this is everything I like. I like dried fruit dipped in chocolate. I like this.
Oh my God. Like in those, in like Cosmopolitan or like Vogue or whatever, they'll be like 15 questions with Jennifer Lawrence or whatever. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so I was thinking like I need something to like be excited about again. Like, like, yes, we're painting and we're getting arthritis in one hand, but like,
no.
Like I do the like 15 questions with people in the comedy world, and I go to them, and like I do that, and I'm like, Amanda, okay, 15 seconds is on the clock. So like, what kind of socks do you wear? Do you like a high-rise sock or a little crop sock? And then like,
so fun. Okay, do it. I love that. I love that so much. Can I tell you, because of all of these personality traits that we're talking about, it was my biggest fear when I was younger that someone would ask me what my favorite something was, because I was like, I don't know, what do you like? Like when I first, so my parents split up when I was, I don't know, I was like 5, I don't know, I changed the year all the time. I don't know, 4. I was young. Who cares? I don't know. Yes, I'm fine. Yes. I was young. And so when I was in school, when grade school, and people would ask me like the teacher would be like, what's your favorite color? Like, so fucking harmless. And I would regularly ask my mom and my dad what their favorite colors were. And my mom's was green for the longest time. My dad's was red. And in school, I would always say my favorite colors are red and green. And I refused to choose one. I basically just chose favorites on other people. Like, it panics me to pick a favorite, or also to have a very objective like opinion of something, to hate something, because I feel like it's like rude to other people, and I feel like it's in this area of things.
Oh yes, I also want to be like, I like that, but do you like that? Because if you like that, then like, okay. Oh, you don't like that? I'm sorry, I told you I like it. Like,
I'm sorry, I hate it now. Yes. Oh my gosh.
That's bad. We got to be like, I like Spice Girls, and that's that.
Yes, and also like next year I can hate them. My opinions can change, exactly. But I can have declarative statements now about who I am.
Yes.
We'll cut to later. Well, soon. I'm gonna do some rapid fire questions with you, so it like I totally checks into this. I just have a couple more questions before we get to that, but I'm wondering. Okay, so I think it was 2019, but please correct me if I'm wrong on that date. You performed in a burlesque comedy show called Tease.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And I was listening to a podcast that you were on, and the podcast was recorded before the show, and the conversation was talking about like you and your 2 cast members' relationship with sensuality and like sexuality and your body. And you on it, I think you joked like, oh, I prefer turtlenecks. Call back to turtlenecks earlier. I said I was gonna ask you about turtlenecks. Or maybe that was before we recorded. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You were joking that like, oh, I prefer turtlenecks, and like even V-necks stress me out. And I was so curious after listening to this podcast, like after performing that burlesque show, like how did performing that show affect your relationship with like your sexuality, your sensuality, or your V-necks? Like, did it change anything? Did it freak you out? What did it do?
Let me tell you this.
Tell me.
I stepped into that rehearsal space knowing, like, I knew, like, oh, we're gonna have to wear, like, you're gonna be wearing, like, maybe some burlesque kind of outfits for some certain numbers, but it is very, like, haha, we got you here, and we're gonna say our statement. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I knew that at the end of the day, I was like, it's okay, it's gonna be funny, or, like, it's gonna make a point, right? But I remember being like, you want my butt to be seen? Like, I was like, oh! Like,
it was like lingerie, right? Like, it was lingerie that you were in.
Excuse me? Like, you didn't understand the opening number where I had to, like, turn around and be like, here's my butt. I was like, I was like, you didn't understand the stress. Oh my God, I'm sweating right now. I'm so ready.
Your body's being brought right back to it.
No. Like, it was almost, I wanted to, like, be like, I don't think I could do the show. And I think I might have actually, I'm sorry, there was a couple times I was like, I don't know if I could do this. And then, she was like, well, you have to, because we're opening in like a week. And I was like, oh, right. I love a good turtleneck. I think it's because, you know what it is? I know we're living in beautiful time right now where it's like, love your body.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what size, what shape, like nobody should care. Like
Mm-hmm.
you love it, that's what matters. Like be confident in who you are. But I think I like grew up in that like stage of dancing where it's like it's kind of like crazy. Like you take a dance class and you're just in front of mirrors the whole freaking time that you're like, as a young adolescent, you're looking at other people's bodies and being like, well, I wish I looked like that, and well, I don't have that, and it would be nice to have those. Like, you know, like I think there was a part of me that just didn't like my body. Like I was like, no. And I think on the podcast, I can't remember, but it's like, yeah, I just was like, that was a stressor. And I think it's only because I just didn't really like my body. And there's something like really cozy about like a or a like hugging me and be like, baby girl, I got you. Okay, I'm hiding bits. Okay? Yeah. But really, I should be like, mama's here.
Well, no, I mean, really, listen, I love a crew neck. I love a turtleneck. I think it's not that you should wear a V-neck over a turtleneck. I think it's just that you should be able to wear a turtleneck out of choice and not out of needing to avoid the V-neck because of if it's your preference, it's your preference. But if it's like, oh no, I don't have the body that deserves to wear a V-neck. I'm like, baby, how you do? You know? But it's hard. It must be like in the act. I mean, I have some of it from like the acting world and just from like personal growing up bullies and whatever. But I can't imagine like in the dance world when it's so much about your whole body and it's so much about like everyone's wearing very similar leotards or like everybody, you know, I can't imagine. I think it would be really hard to come out of that and not have some like negative relationships with your body.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I think like when I really think about it and how people are like, oh, it always goes back to like when you were younger, think about that. And like, oh, I think it really was that. Like, you know, we'd be auditioning for like these scholarships on the weekend and everybody would have like little crop tops on and like little shorts and they'd be like, get it. And I was like, I didn't think, I was like, oh no, it don't look good. It doesn't look good. Or like, why don't I'm not tall. I don't have long legs. Like it was always just, I mean, never sharing that with people, but like you think those things and like, it's so dumb when I think about it now. Cause like, I'll look at like old pictures of when I was little and I was like, oh, like little me couldn't just be like, oh, you are normal. Like every child, like you all look the same. Like there's, you know what I mean? Like, like when I think about it, I'm like, that's bad. That's really bad. That's why I'm like, if I ever have kids, you know, they're gonna dance at home. Because not that I don't like it, but like I would never share it to my mom or that. But like I was always being like, ugh, I wish I could wear that, but I don't feel comfortable. Which is so really, it's bad. It is bad.
It's just, I mean, it's sad, I think. And it sucks that kids are having to, honestly, kids, adults, any voices or bodies or anything, any bit about yourself that has to be like compared to others. It's just, it's really hard. Like,
that show though, I will say, really like, oh God, it really did go, okay, Bianca, you might not like your body, but you need to jump over this freaking hurdle because you're gonna be stronger for it. And by like the last, like by the second last show, I was like, here we are, here's my butt. Like, you know, like I was like, it really did make me go like, oh wow, no one was scared, no one ran out of the room. Like it was, I did go like, wow, like, I don't know, that must have been just something internally that I was like, no. Because again, like, I almost was like, I can't do the show. There's no way. Pasties, excuse me? No. On what? There's nothing here. There's nothing here to be, nothing's moving around. Like, no. Like, I was like, they're like little eyes. Are you kidding me? Like, I was like, stressed out.
okay, I have to tell you this story because this made me think of this so much. A couple weeks ago, I was at the store and I found this dress, and it was like an open back dress and it like tied at the top. And I have a wedding that I have to go to, and so I was like, oh, this is cute. I'm going to try this on. Put it on, and it was one of those ones where like I needed to ask the person working there in the fitting room to like do it up in the back. Like I could not reach.
Yes.
And she was a very young girl. I want to say like maybe 17. And I just said, oh, excuse me, could you tie this up? She said, yeah, of course. She was so lovely. And she came over, and as she's tying up the back of it, so, oh yeah, I said, so it's an open back. So as she's tying up the little string, she goes, oh my God, your back is so clear. I wish. And at first I had I didn't know what she meant by clear. I had no clue. It was like transparent. Like I had no idea. To the point where I felt like an idiot afterwards thinking, oh my God, she means like you have no like blemishes or like acne or pimples or whatever. Yeah. And it made me realize I have never worried about that. I've never thought about that on my back, to the point where when she said it's so clear, I genuinely had no clue what she was talking about. And it made me realize like, oh, but she does walk around thinking about that so much that she is saying it to a customer out, like to a, not a customer, because I'm not saying inappropriate, but like to a stranger. Wow. She's noticing it and commenting on that. And I thought, oh my God, well, I'm thinking, wow, like my hair is very straight naturally. And I always am like, oh, I would love a little wave or something. When I walked in, I noticed how amazing her hair was. I wish I had her hair. I noticed that she was so much thinner than I was. And I was like, oh my God, it would be so much easier if I had a body like hers. And it just very starkly made me realize like the things that we are so worried, like the top 5 things about my body that I am worried about, someone else is noticing on the amazing things on my body that they're worried about on their own body. Someone's noticing about my clear back I had that day, which I've never thought about in my life. Whereas I walk around looking at everybody's body. I'm insecure for a very long time, and maybe now on and off, insecure about my nose. I look at everybody's noses. Or if I'm insecure about my weight that day, I'm looking at people's weight. And it's just like when you were saying like putting pasties on what? Like their eyeballs. I thought, oh, I would just think you have like beautiful boobs. Like I would, if I was at that show, I would not have thought about that. I would have, if I was noticing or comparing to your body, I would notice the things that I feel bad about my body. I would not be noticing the things that maybe you feel bad about your body. It's just very, we walk around feeling like shit, and it's like, why? No, people aren't noticing that. They're actually appreciating our body to the detriment of their own. So why don't we all just walk around fucking complimenting each other? I mean, don't comment on people's bodies. I'm not saying that, but I'm just thumbs up. Oh, everybody drink. It's wild. Like here I am in that store worried about maybe my weight or my nose or my hair, and she's noticing how beautiful my back is. Like,
you know what? Oh. I'm going to piggyback off of that and
say, please.
We should be walking around like giving those compliments, because I'm never walking around going like, God, look at that girl's like boobs. Like, excuse me. I'm always like, as women, I think, and you're saying it too, like you walked in being like, wow, that girl's hair is amazing. Mm-hmm. And that girl was thinking of saying something. I mean, she did vocalize the back thing, but like, because it is so dumb that really nobody's looking at my boobs, probably thinking like, oh, sad. Like I'm just thinking that because I did have to go watch my what am I trying to say? Another cast member, her bit, and I was like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. The boobs and the butt and everything. Like, you know what I mean? Which did I tell her always? Yes, I was like, you are beautiful, and I wish God would come to my house, give me boobs. Like, I was like, excuse me, like, we should be walking around giving compliments. Also, I said the nose thing because I am very self-conscious about my large and in charge nose. And I always used to joke around. I'm like, if I become really famous and rich, I'm going to change my nose. I'm going to get a wee little nose and that's that. But then I was like, wait a minute. That's going to change. Like, I'm just going to be different. Like, people aren't going to know who I am. But okay, wait. Going back to my cool sisters.
Yes.
They have nothing. Like, I look at them and I'm like, what what's happened here? Like, nice nose, honker. And like, honestly, I love it. I love it. I could smell things from a mile away. I'm walking in with my nose first. Like, I love it now. Like, I love it. I'm gonna
there was like this whole movement during COVID. I don't know if you saw on TikTok where people were like, did you see this? Or people were like, basically saying like, oh, I used to be ashamed of my nose, but now like I love it. People were like, which I had never seen in my life. Like people embracing their noses that they had felt bad about. I hope now that I'm saying it to the universe, they like pop up on my TikTok a ton, and I'm just gonna text them to you. I was like, oh, and I do think I had the fear like, oh, if I change my nose, will I be me still? And I was like, well, yeah, like I'm not. If my arm got cut off, I'm still me. Like I still get to be me. You know what I mean?
Yes, you're right.
But I think there's a small part of me, and like I don't know if this is problematic or what, but there's a small part in my heart that's like, oh, if I changed my nose, am I like? It feels like an act of not self-love a bit. Like if you know, and it's not because I'm like, oh, shame to plastic surgery. If somebody was like, oh, I want to get lipo, I want to get boobs, I want to get whatever, I'm like, do whatever you want.
Do what makes you happy.
Yes. Yeah. It's that I would rather it come from a place of like, I feel full self-worth in who I am, and I also want to get I want to cosmetically change my nose. It needs to be both. It can't be like I'm not good enough unless I change my nose. That's the place that I feel sad to my inner little child if I do that to her. You know?
Yeah.
But I think you're freaking beautiful. And I mean, not that my opinion doesn't matter, because all that, when you were like, we should walk around and tell everybody compliments, I also was like, yeah, and you know what? We should be walking around telling ourselves compliments. I think that's what we need to be doing.
We freaking should.
Honestly.
No, I'm with you on all of it.
Yeah.
And we're keeping our noses, listeners.
Oh my God. And listen, here's another thing where I was like, the only reason that I knew that you felt maybe like that you felt in this area was because on the podcast you mentioned like you were just like throwaway funny comments, and you said something about your nose, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she doesn't like her nose. I wonder if she doesn't like this or that or whatever. I mean, I would joke about it too, because, but that is another thing that I have never thought, like same with your boobs. I've never thought that about you. And that's to say something, because I am looking at people's noses because I'm insecure about my own nose.
Wait, listen, here's a funny story, and it's probably not like, I don't know, whatever. Take listeners, take what you want from this, okay? Take what you want. But let me just tell you right now, when A Star is Born came out,
yes,
my family knows that I have an issue with my nose. Okay, they know. So when A Star is Born came out and we all went to the movies, you know, the three Alongi sisters and mommy and daddy, okay, we're all like la 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 la. And then Lady Gaga does the side profile nose strip, or I think Bradley like touches her nose. Whatever. The point is, there was that like nose thing. Triggered. Like my whole family did this. And I was like,
oh no, just turned right to
and, like,
you.
they all looked at me because they knew I was like, why is her nose on the screen like this? Because I just have a problem with my nose. And I think in the movie, I can't remember, but doesn't Lady Gaga like not like her nose? And he's like, I love your nose. And I was like, I can't wait till I find a man who loves my nose. And so like the biggest focus, like I would just like walk around like for a month being like, I love your nose. And I was just like touching it. And it was just like very funny. And I just thought, you know what, one day, wherever you are, Mr. Man, or maybe my crush listening, I hope you touch my nose and tell me that you love it and you kiss it.
Oh, I love that. And until then, I hope you stroke your nose and you tell her that you love her. Honestly, I feel like, you know, I only don't like my nose because someone, when I was a kid, told me that I had an ugly nose. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll adopt that belief. It's all bullshit. I'm like, that kid doesn't think that now. He doesn't even fucking remember saying that. It's just these implanted little evil little seeds from when we're children by other children who like should not hold that much weight, telling us like, you know, and then as an adult, I'm like, oh, 20 years later, 25 years later, I somehow still have this belief about certain body parts because of a 6-year-old. Like,
oh my
pish
God.
posh applesauce. I don't know why Pish posh applesauce. I was reverting back.
Applesauce. And that's actually the next name of our cartoon that we're putting out there.
And one of them is going to be a huge ogre, either pish or posh, and that's going to be you.
And she's going to have a very large nose.
Yeah. Of course. Everybody will. All the characters are just noses. Noses and boobs. All the different kinds.
That's so fun.
That's so fun. Let's do it. Hi, networks out there. Let us know. Okay, I want to play some rapid fire questions with you to wrap up our episode. Yes. I say rapid fire. I feel like I say this every episode. Also, like, a rapid fire should be like, what's your favorite animal? Go. And I don't. I'm like, oh, what did your parents say they loved most about you? Like, they're too big of questions. So take your time.
Okay.
But rapid fire if you want to. Okay. This one is something that I wanted to ask you during our sound check, but we said no. We were like, no, we'll do it on the pod. What is your go-to movie or TV series when you're feeling like crappy or sad?
Okay, listen. I don't care. I don't care if it's a bit cuckoo manga for some people who are like, oh my God, they were talking on the internet, ding, 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 and then like stranger, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, guys, whatever, okay? It's You've Got Mail. It's You've Got Mail, Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks. Give me a rainy day. Give me a little autumn vibe. Give me New York. Like, I love it all. It also reminds me of my mom. Like, we watched that movie too many times. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. It just makes me feel good. It makes me cry a little bit, and then it makes me happy. And, like, I love the soundtrack. Listen, I'm such a freaking weirdo that I have the soundtrack. Like, sometimes I'll be cooking and like,
oh my God, that's the soundtrack. Like, I can't even recognize it.
Yeah, I don't know what, but yeah, I don't know what it is. It reminds me of my mother and my sisters, and I think it's just the nostalgia. We've watched it for so many years, and so like the movie's great, but also like it just, if I'm feeling sad, I'm like, I need to watch this.
Like nostalgia and comfort. Oh no, I love that. I love that. Yes. And listen, not everything's going to stand up the test of time. I didn't even know that about that, but like, not everything's going to stand up, and that's fine.
Yes.
You know,
exactly.
You're not saying it should be in a child's film school to influence them about how to be in relationships. You're just like, I like this movie when I'm stuffed up. Like, whatever.
Yeah. Oh wait, and another one? Oh my God.
Tell me.
Sue me. Okay, it's a J-Lo movie, and I love it. I freaking love it. And it's called Wedding Planner.
Oh, she's so good in that one. That's such a fun one.
Oh, listen, J-Lo, I know she's done some where you're like, we should just stick with one thing, and it's singing. But give me J-Lo, the Wedding Planner. Give me, oh my God, I love it. I can see the lines. Sometimes I turn it on and I don't watch it, and I'll be doing something and I'll be doing the lines. I'm like, okay, I'm a weirdo.
No, it's comfort. No. It's nostalgia. It's comfort. It's no. That was literally me through the whole pandemic. I mean, I just rewatched a bunch of stuff. No, I love that. Also,
J-Lo.
Yes. What?
School of Rock.
No. Oh my God. Corey Birch is somewhere so happy. He loves Jack Black.
That's how we bonded.
Oh my God. Oh, is it?
Full monologue where it's like, you want to give up? Don't. Just give up. The man, you don't know the man? He's everywhere. Down the hall, Miss Mullins, she's the man, and the man is ruining the ozone layer. Captain Shamu, put her in a chlorine tank. There used to be a way to stick to them. Oh no. Anyways, I just love it.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Oh, I hope they do like a remake or something, and then you can audition for it. Oh,
God.
That was so good.
When they brought that to Broadway, I was like, can I audition for Jack Black? Like, can I be Mr. Schneebly?
Like, come on.
Anyways.
Come on. Okay. Hire her for an ogre and be Jack Black. Like, what is that? We're not asking very much here. Okay. This is like kind of a deep one, but I'm very curious. What is like your biggest fear career-wise?
Oh, my biggest fear career-wise? Honestly, sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm like, if I don't get to the thing that I want to do, like, sometimes I was like, why couldn't, because I know people that are on Broadway, and I know people that became background dancers for singers, or, or I know people that are like he was just at the Emmys. Like, I know them. I knew them. Hello, hi, we're friends. Sometimes, like, I'm thinking, like, oh, like, well, why didn't that work out? Or like, well, like, so I think, wait, what was the question? What's my biggest fear?
What's your biggest fear? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, is not being able to just be like so grateful. Like, I have to keep reminding myself to be like, hey, wait, you've done some really cool things, even though you didn't go do that. Like, and also life is so freaking long. You never know what's gonna happen. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I think my biggest fear is just, you know, thinking that like I don't want to do that thing, but sometimes we often get into that little loop where like, it would be nice to be doing that, but then it's like, hi, let's have a check-in and be like, hey, you have come a long way and you've done some really cool things and you should be grateful. So like, if tomorrow, if the doors close and you can't do that ever again, you should be like just grateful, like, you know. And I'm like, oh yeah, like, that's, stop it. So I think my biggest fear is just like, forgetting, or maybe getting pigeonholed to one thing. Like, I want to be like, I want to do it all. I want to do it all, you know?
Yeah. God, it's a hard balance to find of like being so grateful for the opportunities you've had and currently have, while also allowing yourself, like giving yourself permission to want more. Like, it's a very hard little pocket to fall into.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like, it's okay to have like pauses or different outlets that you're doing things, because when you even like, I'm right now I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks and autobiography things and about celebrities and non-celebrities and just artists and stuff like that, and like, those people also wear multiple hats in so many different things that we just don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, and it's like, oh yeah, like, that person started a baking company on the side too. like, you know, so like, it's really okay. Like, sometimes I'm like, it's okay, you know, just take your time. Like, I think I was telling you I had a bad audition for something, and I was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world and I'll never be able to do it again. And I'm like, oh, what? I just like listened to Rachel. Oh shoot. What's her name? Dratch.
I think it is Rachel Dratch.
Is it Rachel? Okay.
I think so.
Well, yes.
We're gonna go with that. Yeah.
I was listening to her book, and like, girl, like, she was talking about the rejection after rejection, and that's like, and a lot of those, and I'm like, I was like, oh, that resonates. Like, yeah, I didn't get that, and I'm not doing that, and I would love to do that, and I went out for that, and why didn't I get that? And I'm thinking, everything happens for a reason. And like, I got to one part of the chapter where she's just like, and then this happened, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, this feels right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, things are supposed to happen, and I just, you know, that really bad audition I was talking to you about, I'm like, doesn't matter. Life goes on. It doesn't.
Yeah, you never know what it's going to lead to. You never know like what you can do and wouldn't have been able to do because you wouldn't have been available if you booked that. Like, you just never know. I mean, you never knew you were going to get into voice acting, and now you're in like how many freaking shows? Like, it's just, you just never know. Yeah, totally. I know. I just keep like, all right, well, I always remind myself too, like, things aren't like linear, or like, they're not a straight line. Yeah. They're like all over the place and loopy, and things come back and things come, it's like, they're all over. And I thank
my parents for that, because my parents had, you know, like, loopy doopy doops in their life, and had to adapt and had to change, and we went through things, and like they just put on their big girl pants and were like, okay, and now I'm gonna do this. Because there was a point in my life, like after my breakup, where I was like, I'll never dance, I'll never sing, I'll never do theater again, like, bye-bye. And I spent like good 3 years hiding out at my mom's coffee shop, being like, I'm gonna be a barista for the rest of my life. And then my mom forced me to move back to Toronto with Raquel, because Raquel's roommate was moving out. And Raquel's like, come live with me, I need a roommate. And I was like, fine, but I'm going to Toronto, like, to I don't know, I need to like enroll in something. So I took an esthetician course. Like, I'm a certified esthetician.
Oh my God, learning new things about you.
Yeah, so there I was at George Brown, learning how to effleurage, learning how to laser. I could give you a little waxy wax, okay, do a little nail. Did I like it? Absolutely not. Did I get a job after? Yes, I did. But guess who was going to Second City for some classes? This gal. Who was doing 15-minute sets on people's facials? This gal. Was I like, uh-oh, I gotta go and pursue this now. And I left. But the point is, it's like, nothing's linear, nothing's gonna stay the same. But also, like, the world works in a really freaking weird way.
Yeah.
Where if it wasn't for my mom to be like, Bianca, stop it. You need to go, get out of the house and go to the city and just do something. And I was like, well, I will never perform again. And then there I was being like, all I want to do is make up bullshit on a stage. Like,
yeah. And they knew, I'm sure your mom and your sister, I'm sure they're like, just get her close to Second City, or like, just get her close to a stage. It'll call to her again, you know, it's in her soul.
Amanda, I was so bananas because, again, I had only heard Second City and improv through, like, that boss lady I had. And I was like, I'll never do it. I'll never. That's crazy. But I remember the day I bought a ticket to go watch the show. I immediately signed up. I was trying to get a stand-up class, but there was no room for a stand-up class. So I took an improv class and I was like, I love it. Yum, yum, yum. Love it. Then after I was like, give me all the one ABC, whatever. And then after I was like, con, yes. Like, and then I was so obsessed where I was like, I must work here. I went down to Wayne Gretzky and I was like, hi, I realize you're connected to the theater. I was like, I'd like a job here. And they were like, okay, great. Did I get a job at Wayne Gretzky? And they're like, yeah, but you're not going to be connected to the Second City.
Second City at all. It's a separate restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we share the kitchen and that's it. And I was like, what? So I was a hostess there for like 6 months. Not sexy enough to even work there, okay?
Oh.
Working in my black turtleneck. The point was, I just wanted to be anywhere close to that vicinity because, like, I just felt like home. Like, I was like, oh, this feels right.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, see, it does. It all works weird, mysterious ways. That's so just weird. It does. Okay, so speaking of weird then, okay, I know you talked about being pigeonholed and stuff too, so I want to know what show, it can be on the air right now or not, what show is like dream show to be on? Or a movie if there's a sequel. Like, what is the dream show?
Oh, okay, so I'm also really bad. Like, oh my God, I've went on a handful of really odd dates the last maybe 2 months. And they're like, you're an actor? They're like, what's your favorite TV show right now? And I was like, oh God. So right now, I'm really bad. I'm not like, I should be as an actor.
No.
Watching stuff and getting all the content. No, I'm watching garbage TV. And I'm watching like garbage TV. Or listening to podcasts. So like, oh my God, like what would I want to be on right now? I don't know what show I'd want to be on right now, but I will say, would I want to be a reoccurring character or like of something? Yes. Give me the quirky friend. Give me the little secretary. Where I turn around and I'm like, Barb, Bill's in for you. Like whatever. Like I just, I don't know. I don't know what show I'd want to be in. But I just know that I should maybe watch some more TV.
No, this is not a space for self-shame. Listen, I watch so much reality TV. It's like embarrassing. Like if somebody said, oh, have you seen this? I'd be like, yeah, I've watched all of it. So no, not at all. And maybe it's like, oh, maybe they do a remake of You've Got Mail and you play the Meg Ryan character. Maybe they, or any of the animated. No, just,
I would say though, like it would be really cool to be in a big animation where I just like pop off. Like she's like I'm like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, you're the princess of that, or you're the main fish on that show, Dory.
Yeah,
like, you know, like that would be so cool. Like I am
so fun.
I have a well. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. But I do have a feature film coming out soon.
Okay.
But I don't know the extent of it because they don't tell me anything. I don't know who's put money into it and blah, 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 and this and this and that. But they are like, yeah, so like, you know, when the premiere happens, like, I'm like, there's going to be a premiere? I'm going to need a dress.
Yes,
like,
you are. That's so
watch it
exciting.
never reach the light of day. Like, I don't know, but it would be really cool to
That'd be
be
so cool.
a cartoon that kids are like, they're singing all the time, or they're like, you know, look up to. That would be so cool.
So cool. Ugh. Okay, we're
Did you
manifesting.
watch,
That's happening.
did you watch Luca?
Yes.
Okay, the little girl with the curly hair. I'm like,
Yes.
I want to be her, where she's like, mozzarella. Like, I love that. Like,
Yeah.
ay, mozzarella. I was like, oh my
Oh.
God, like, who is this person? I wish I was her.
Yeah, that is me. I want that little girl. All right, we're manifesting a little curly-haired Luca child for you. It's
I want
happening. It's happening.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Okay, through your company, Casa Bianca, which I mentioned in the intro here,
Yes.
you've collaborated with companies like Mirvish Theatre and Addidas. Adidas.
Yes.
I always panic. What brand or company would you love to collaborate with next?
Ooh. Oh man. The theater one was a really cool one because it was like home to me, where I was like, oh, you know. So that was like, when that happened, I was like, wow, this is reachable. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like worlds,
cool.
different worlds of yours like colliding.
Yeah, and oh God, what brand? I think it would be really cool to be like, again, and I know now it's stemming, like it's going back to like animation, but like it would be really cool to I don't even, it's not even a brand. I think I just like would want to work with somebody to create a book, or to create,
like be an
you know
illustrator of a book.
Yeah. Whereas like, here's the thing, like I'm not good at like, I like architectural things, but yeah, a brand wise, I don't know. It would have to be something again with children, because I just think that would be, I don't know, so cute. And I think my art is that. Like, it's not like perfect. It's just like, here's a house and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, and I'm like, it would be cool to do that. Or one time I did think, I was like, maybe I should do like little art in the park, like painty things with kids. Like, I always actually thought I would go into something with little ones, because even at a young age, like in grade school, I was like, can I be the lunch monitor? Like, I just wanted to go like help the kids. Or like, you know, when I taught dance for a bit when I was in high school, like I loved teaching the little ones, because they were like little sponges and they look up to you, and it was like, I don't know, I feel like I don't have my shit together, but kids think I'm fun. Like, you know? And like,
I wonder too, like there's been multiple times in our conversation where you've like kind of mentioned how like you felt very small or very little. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if it was also nice to be with kids, because in comparison, you're not little. Like you get to be the big one now. You get to be like, you were like, I'm not tall, but you get to be tall with the kids. You know what I mean?
And when they come and they're like, Miss Bianca or Miss B, and I'm like, me. Like, I was like, it was so, I think it's the first time that I felt like I was like, wow, I am looked at as a leader. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm always like behind the leader, like, yes, let's do it. Like, but yes, because there was one summer I had to teach like, oh my God, like adult, no, like beginner teen jazz. And these kids were like 15, and I was like, oh God, A, they were taller than me, and B, I was like, I don't know, I'm not cool enough. So every time I'd be like, hey guys, we're having a good time. Like, I was like,
no, teenagers, that's hard. That's like a full like self panic.
Oh my God. Yeah. They wouldn't even smile. Like, I was like, they hate me. And then I run into them like walking on Queen Street, and they're like, oh my God, Miss Bianca. And I was like, ugh. And they're like, you taught me jazz. And I was like, oh my God, what are you doing here in Toronto? And they're like, I work for Aritzia or whatever. And I was like, oh! Like, I was like, that's amazing. I was like, I thought you hated me. And they're like, no, like, you were so funny. And I was like, yeah, because I was like, anything, guys, laugh at
anything. You were just like putting 110% of yourself in there, effort, just trying anything you could to like.
Oh my God, the little ones were just like, you're funny. And I was like, you know what? I love you guys. You are the best. And all of you guys get a gold star. So.
Yeah. Teenagers, like, here, I'll give them all out. Do you like me? Please, do you like me?
I was like, I will pay you to come back.
Yeah. I'll pay you to like me and come back. Oh my God, it's so funny. Okay, my last rapid fire for you is what's your favorite way to treat yourself these days?
Oh my God. Okay, so my favorite thing is okay. I love coffee. I love
Yes.
coffee. Ooh, do I have a machine here? Yes, 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 yes. But my favorite like way to treat myself is like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm gonna go get myself a little coffee, tea, 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 tea.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes maybe even like indulge in a little pedicure, a little
Oh.
manicure moment. Like I feel like that's a treat, and then at the end of it, I feel like, wow, like I just feel fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had coffee, I've had a little pedicure, I've had a little manicure, and I just feel, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't do it all the time. But when
Mhm.
I do, I feel like it's a real treat and I need it. And then I just feel like, wow, okay, I feel so pretty. And like, I'm ready to conquer
Yeah.
the world with my nice nails and my nice toes. And as a dancer, I have really disgusting feet. You heard it here, people. They're scary. Like, could I like shave down like yeah basically I could build something with my feet, okay, like there's sandpaper, okay, but I'm making things smooth, okay, so yeah, it is a treat and I love it and I will spend lots of money for someone else to clean them.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I love that.
What
I
do you
might
do?
actually, I am similar that I'm like, I'm going to get myself a nice latte or like an iced coffee
Yeah.
today. So definitely that. And lately I've been playing some Nintendo Switch when I need like, okay, I bought this game
Good
and
for
so I've been
you.
playing it. So that's nice. Honestly, and sometimes like if I just need a break, yeah, a walk with a podcast to go get like a
Yeah.
fancy coffee, which really just means a coffee that I didn't make myself. Like that's
Yeah.
really all I need it to be.
Yep.
And then yeah, it's mostly that or like a little bit of Nintendo Switch or me just being like, I'm going to set a 30-minute timer and I'm watching 30 minutes of some trash reality TV and this is my me time. That is like,
Yes,
yeah, just giving myself some shame-free time to
I love that.
indulge. Love.
I
A
love that.
manicure does feel really good too. I might
Yeah.
actually, oh, look, we got the thumbs up from Zoom. Thank you. They agree.
Thank you,
They
Zoom.
agree. I
Yes.
might have to go get a mani pedi actually in the next couple weeks. So if I do, I might text you and see if you want to come.
I will keep my fingers disgusting so that I'm ready for you.
Keep your fingers and your nails gross because I have to go to a wedding in a little bit. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should go and maybe we'll go together.
So like, this is very very funny. I don't know where this is going. Oh, sometimes oh no, okay, we were talking about fingers and nails and doing something nice. It's really awful that I sometimes when I go and get my nails done or my toes done, I
Yeah.
feel like I have to go like clean my entire house after or like
Oh yeah. Oh totally. No. You want everything to feel like polished and like
yes.
updated. No,
But also
totally.
wait, this isn't because I'm feeling clean and clean. It's because I'm like, oh my God, I've done something nice for myself. Must work. I'm like, like, yeah, it's
No.
really bad. It's really bad. Like, yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. Like, or if I'm like, I'm gonna watch a cheeky movie on a Tuesday, then I'm like, Wednesday, I'm like, everything needs to be done. Laundry,
Oh
this,
yeah.
several paintings. I don't care if you're tired, hand. You must do it. It's like I'm like, oh my God,
I
bad.
know.
And also, if I sleep in, bad. Like I like you don't understand. I'm so mad at myself. I'm like, oh God, you ruined the day. You got to start all over tomorrow.
Oh no. It is such a real thing though of like the lie that you have to earn self-care or the lie that you have to earn all this shit. I don't know if it's capitalism, patriarchy, all of it. I don't know what it is, but
I
like
will say I am so happy that Shaughnessy, my baby sister, and anybody after that age, they're coming up way different. And I'm so proud because like sometimes when I'm like my 17-year-old sister will be like, oh my God, but like you did a really good job and like maybe just like breathe and like take some time and like yeah, you deserve that, you should go on and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, like are you gonna become a therapist because like you're the
because
best,
you're
like,
mine. You're already
yeah.
my therapist.
Like pandemic land when I was like literally that was not my world. Like I was like I like to be around people and what's happening and blah, like
I
right and
know.
painting like
Yeah.
saved me because it gave me something to like do. I remember like I don't know, maybe I was like crying or sad, but like Shaughnessy was just like she was just I'm just like whoa, like I wish I had the brain and head and thought process that these kids are growing up with, and awareness, and like, because
You'd get to
they're good.
you'd get to sleep in, and you'd get to just have. I know it's like it's this idea like if you do something nice for yourself, then later you have to pay for it. I mean, I totally relate to like if I have a day where I'm just like, you know, I'm going to take the day off or the evening off, and then the next day I'm like, okay, well now I need to work 12 hours. I need to make up for it, and it's like that
That's so
doesn't. Then it's like then don't even it's not even worth doing it because it's like all of the like recuperating or the re-energizing that you did, you just like sucked the life out of you anyway.
ugh,
I
so
know. I know. It's all of it. It's hustle culture. It's all the stuff. It's all the stuff just like putting all these lies in us, and I'm like, nah. I just keep telling myself like I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe
no.
that. Like no, I
You,
don't believe that. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't want that. No, thank you. Go to
no,
somebody else or don't go to
no.
anybody. They don't deserve it. Goodbye. Um okay, so the way that I love you. Okay, I'm just looking at your smiling face. You're just so sweet. Okay.
Look at our
Uh
like blazers.
Look at our little blazers. Oh my god, it's so cute. Anyone listening, go watch the video because they're in little blazers and they're like fun colors. Actually, this is my favorite color combination is like a pink and like a peach. It's
Can
my
you like
favorite.
put your heart? Oh wait, can you?
Oh my god, yes. I don't know what
Wait, or is
side
it
my
this like?
video will be on.
What side will mine be on?
Let's see.
Anyways,
Do it on both sides just in case. Oh my god, we're so insufferably cute.
I know.
Okay. Oh my god, I love this. I can't wait to go to coffee and get manicures done. Okay. So the way that I like to wrap up these ones lately is something that I'm trying to do is like ask. It's so funny because we talked about this so much, but like asking for what I want, like saying I want to go for sushi. And part of that is professionally, like saying, hey, hire me to be in your writer's room, or like hire me to produce your show or whatever. So because people don't know. They cannot read my mind and know what I am capable. Or like, hey, I'm a singer. Hire me to sing in your show. People don't know unless you say it. So for you, what is something that you would want to put out into the universe? Maybe someone's listening. Maybe it's personally or professionally. It could be your crush is listening. It could be a potential employer, a casting director, whatever. Someone's listening to this podcast that can give you what you want. So what's something you'd want to put out in the universe and ask for that you want?
This is what I'm going to put out.
Okay,
yes. Do we want the animated movie where I change children's lives? Yes.
Yes.
What do I want right now?
Yeah.
I'm missing like a little cast, like a little community, a little something that I go to, and whether that be like a TV show or a live show. Like I really do miss live shows and theater, something like that. So like I think I'm putting out to the universe where I just want to be a part of a cast again. I'm not even saying like give me the lead. I just like love the community, family feel. I miss that so much, and I think it's because like I fully live alone now. So like I'm like I just want that.
I know it's been hard through the pandemic, like having, especially because I know both of us like before were like performing, or you're in casts, or you're out at a comedy bar in the city or whatever, and it's very strange now. It feels very there's nothing like being a part of a cast and like going to rehearsal and then doing performances together and having like having those bonds. I think that's such a wonderful such a good one to put out in the universe. That's so great.
I love that because I really do. Like anytime that I've had, I'm like, oh my god, you just make so many memories and so many like. Yeah, I just love it. Like, I'll listen to a song, or like, actually, it's really, really odd when things are happening in my life that are like going well. And I think I posted this on my Instagram story, but anyways, there's a couple songs from like when I was working on the cruise ship that they're just like triggering because they were like such fun times that like it will be like, oh, like let's say I'm selling art at an arts market, and then like I happen to catch the song. I'm like, oh, that is so crazy that it's that song, because like I am happy and that brings back such a happy time. Or like I remember doing the Second City Christmas show. There was like a playlist playing before the show and people were coming in, and like again, music had been playing but I wasn't paying attention, but then I heard that song and I was like, oh my god, like that brings me back to that good time. Like, it's so funny how it's like magically popped up or come up on my playlist on my way to like go record a voiceover thing. Like, it's so bananas and it sounds cucamonga, but like, it's like, yeah, I just want to, I like being in cast. I love that feeling. Just,
Oh, it does not sound cucamonga to me. Like, also think of how many hours, like how many years you spent in dance. No wonder your body on like a cellular level has a connection to music. Like, of course. I will have it. It's so strange. I don't have a very good memory, but certain things I do. And if I'm listening to like a podcast or a song, and then I listen to it again, I can remember like where I was when I was listening to it and like what I was wearing. It lives in you in like your body holds memories, you know? I feel like that's a book or something. But I think that's I mean, it makes that much of an impression on you, you know? Like being in a cast that then later your body like remembers it through music.
Oh my God. Yes, oh my God, music is huge. And usually like if I'm feeling like low, it will be a song or like something that just makes me like bring me full joy. Like, you know, is it kind of bananas? I absolutely hate country, but like, give me a Shania Twain song and I'm like,
oh my God. Oh, like, I dare, like in my deepest, darkest sadness, if I sang like "Whose bed have your boots been under," I will come out happy. I can't help it.
Listen, I don't know. I think it's because I had a little Walkman and it was like the only CD I had, and I had the Up CD where it had the red version.
Up, yeah.
And I was just like, it was like, you didn't understand. I just, listen, September, she was just in Vegas. It made me so sad. I don't know. It's probably like the Elton John thing where like, this is the last one. And then he does it again. Like Shania was like, this will be my last hurrah in Vegas. I was like ready to be like, here's all my money. I'm going to see you. But let me tell you, I think she's coming back. I don't care, even though she just like had a residency in Vegas. I almost flew out there because I was like, I want to feel so good. I want to feel so good.
Shania Twain. Oh my God. Maybe we can be in a cast with her. She was she did like an appearance in Broad City. Maybe she would be in our animated show where I'm a duck and you're an ogre, or I'm a nose and you're boobs. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Maybe she would be in something with us.
Boots. Maybe she's
boots. Oh my God. And it's just called Boobs, Boots, and a Nose.
Yes.
And that's what the show is called. Or movie. It's a big movie and kids look up to it. Oh my God. Are we just putting all the manifesting things together?
Oh my God. Just going right into the plot.
All of it. Shania, call us.
Yes.
I love Shania Twain. Oh my God. Ugh. Bianca, thank you so much for doing this with me. It was such a long time coming. Like, I was so excited to ask you, and that you were down or up for it. I don't know. Both things can be said. And I'm just excited now for our friendship to begin.
I know. I feel like, oh my God. Okay, the podcast is too short. No, it's been very long. I'm sorry. I talk so much.
No, like, thank God. Imagine if you didn't talk. What would it be?
Our first one. Can I like come back on the pod and ask you questions? Like, can we do that?
Oh my God.
Like, is that kind of bananas? Like,
it's not like, kind of bananas. I literally got so sweady immediately.
Like, I would love to be like, hi guys, welcome to Liquid Courage. Today I have Amanda Pereira on the show, and we got some questions to ask you. Like, I have so many things that I like want to ask you, and at one point I even voice recorded some of my things because listeners, you've heard it here. I'll be wearing her pink blazer, and I'll be asking the questions.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Well, also too, you're going to be doing your 15 questions or whatever number you want with people around Toronto. Also,
I really should do that. And I should do it the way that they do it on Vogue, where they're like, I don't know, like going throughout their life and like.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, it would be, and you could like do like cute illustrations with it. Like you could make it so beautiful. And then we get Raquel to come in to make like, I feel like she brings in like the businessy side where she puts it on a tote bag, or she creates like a checklist for the city. You know what I mean? All that stuff.
She's gonna bring the cool, and I'm gonna bring the like Raquel's the one who's like, you gotta put the window man on TikTok. And I was like,
oh, I love the window man.
I can't. And she's like, you gotta, it'll blow up.
Yeah.
And then,
honestly, we might need a part 2 because there's so many things I wanted to ask you more about Casa Bianca, company, and we're mentioning it in the intro. Also look in the description, like go check it out. It's so beautiful. She does custom, and I wanted to ask you more about window. Oh, there's so many things. Meet cute window. I mean, maybe we write something that's like You've Got Mail, but it's like You've Got a Dirty Window, and like it's and it's about the meet cute with the window man.
Oh
anyway, go watch Bianca's Instagram stories. Oh no, actually they're in post. Just go on Bianca's Instagram. Also go on Casa Bianca's Instagram. Check all of them out. It's such a joy. It's so fun. Go check out all of the projects that she voices because they're so freaking cute. Oh, and just keep following all the career. I adore you. Let's go get some coffee.
Let's go get some coffee and clean our feet.
Let's clean our feet together and not clean our apartments. That's the promise.
Nope. Is this the bed with no sheets on it? Yes, it is.
And it must stay that way if you get a pedicure today.
Till tomorrow. Yes.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Liquid Courage podcast. If you liked what you saw and you're looking to support the show, here's a few ways you can help. You can leave the show a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Or you can follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Liquid Courage Podcast. Or, and best of all, you can tell a friend about the show. Tell a family member, tell a coworker, post about your favorite episode online. Spread the word. That really is the best way to help support the show and help it grow. Did I just rhyme? Okay, until the next episode, cheers.